Did you ever wonder about the origin of the decades-long tensions between two of the world's most populous nations, India and China? The root cause traces back to the year 1962, a year that left an indelible mark on the annals of history with the eruption of the Sino-Indian War, also known as the Sino-Indian border conflict. This war, though brief, had profound implications for the region, the two nations involved, and indeed for global geopolitics. The genesis of the conflict lay in a long-standing and unresolved border dispute between the two nations, primarily centered around the majestic yet contested Himalayan region. This dispute, a contentious legacy of the British colonial era, saw both nations interpreting the borderlines to their favor, leading to escalating territorial tensions. Adding fuel to the fire were the stark ideological and political differences between the two countries. India, a vibrant democracy with ties to the Soviet Union and Western democracies, and China, a communist powerhouse under Mao Zedong, found their ideological divide straining their relationship further. Efforts at diplomacy, aimed at resolving this border dispute, had been underway for years, yet they repeatedly came to naught, with negotiations in 1960 failing to reach a breakthrough. This diplomatic impasse led to an increased military buildup along the disputed border, setting the stage for an impending conflict. The war broke out on October 20, 1962, with Chinese forces launching coordinated attacks along the disputed border. The primary areas of conflict were the Aksai Chin region and the Northeast Frontier Agency, now known as Arunachal Pradesh. The Chinese troops, well-equipped and well-trained, quickly overwhelmed the unprepared Indian forces, capturing key positions and territories. Battles raged on in this inhospitable terrain, with both sides grappling not just with the enemy, but also with extreme weather conditions and logistical challenges. Despite India's initial attempts to resist the Chinese advance, the People's Liberation Army made substantial gains. The conflict came to an abrupt end on November 21, 1962, when China declared a unilateral ceasefire, surprising many. They withdrew from the territories they had captured in the Indian Northeast, yet retained control over Aksai Chin. The war officially ended a day later, on November 22, with both sides agreeing to a ceasefire. The aftermath of the war was significant. India suffered a considerable territorial loss, with Aksai Chin remaining under Chinese control. The war also had far-reaching geopolitical consequences, straining India-China relations for decades to come and pushing India closer to the United States and the Soviet Union during the Cold War. The war also served as a wake-up call for India, prompting a major reassessment of its military capabilities. It led to heavy investment in modernizing its armed forces and border infrastructure, a legacy that continues to this day. In conclusion, the Sino-Indian War of 1962, a brief yet impactful conflict, altered the course of history for both nations and shaped the geopolitical landscape of South Asia. It remains a poignant reminder of the complexities of border disputes and the dire consequences they can lead to.